And the night's going well when the TD Garden breaks out a wave, and it actually was a perfect wave. And I
It
know
was
you
great.
touched on it.
No, no, okay. Like some people out there are always like, "Oh, the wave. What year is it?" Or the wave. Like this is so stupid. Why do people do
Right.
this? You know how much human evolution it took to come to this moment, to get us to this moment right now of like just experience the wave, especially say if you were in an arena or at a ballpark where it happens. Everyone is somehow coordinating themselves at the same time to make a ripple around the stadium. It's like, we can't even get on the same page on anything in society, yet we're able to do the wave.
Right.
Able to do the wave randomly, and it's kind of impressive. It's kind of crazy and the fact that people sit back. I'm spending way too much time on the wave, but it
I
happened tonight,
love
so
it.
whatever. But the fact people sit back and call it stupid, no, enjoy this moment. It may be just a stupid thing that means nothing, but the wave is crazy. How are we this coordinated as humans?
And you typically don't see the wave in a basketball game or like an indoor arena game. Usually you
Yeah.
see them, like you said, at a ballpark, maybe sometimes at a football game, but not an NBA game, especially in Boston. I've been at games in the TD Garden where fans have tried to start the wave and it just looks totally ridiculous. But yeah, they hit on that pretty well, Seamus. I was pretty glad we touched base on that. But we still have a guy I want to talk about, Seamus, really quick. We talked about a lot of guys on this team tonight. Obviously, Jason Tatum had a phenomenal night, 31 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, flirting with the triple-double. But Marcus Smart was tonight's player spotlight, where I think this was just a typical Marcus Smart game. You got the grit on both ends of the floor, diving on loose balls, hitting shots, shot 6 of 10. That's extremely efficient, dishing the ball out, making these unbelievable passes that he's been making over the past couple of months. This was just a purely great executed game by Marcus Smart. And I feel like Detroit is a great matchup for Marcus Smart, where this is a tough, young, gritty team who's tough as nails. And I feel like that's just Marcus Smart as a player, Seamus. 20 points, 5 assists, 5 steals, 3 rebounds on 6 of 10 shooting. What stuck out to you, maybe even not on the stat sheet, what stuck out to you tonight about Marcus Smart in this win over the Pistons?
Well, a couple of weeks ago when we lost to the Pistons right before All-Star break, both Marcus Smart and Robert Williams missed that game.
Right.
And I think we came on the post game. We talked a lot about the game, but I felt like we didn't necessarily give enough to the fact that both of those guys didn't play that game. We only lost by 1. Right. Tonight, you see these guys' impact, and especially Marcus Smart's impact in a physical, tough, and gritty game like tonight. And the fact that he's able to score 20 points was magnificent on a night where Jaylen Brown, he was 8 of 22. He got to the free throw line. So did Marcus Smart. And that was a huge boost to not only his game, but everybody else's game too. Just think about this. He only made 6 shots tonight. He scores 20 points, and he gets to the free throw line 7 times. If Marcus Smart is getting to the free throw line 5+ times, his game goes up to another level. Because I mentioned on this program, a high of Smart is not what you want to see, which ultimately means you're not going to have many 20-point plus nights out of Marcus Smart. Well, if he can get to the free throw line, all of a sudden scoring goes up not only for him, but the entire team as well. And just in general for the entire team, getting to the free throw line is going to be so important come playoff time. And Tatum's ability to get there, Brown's ability to get there, and Marcus Smart on a night like this, you don't expect him to go to the free throw line 7 times a night. But if he can get, like I said, around 5 free throw attempts a night, that's going to put the Celtics in a pretty big place moving forward. And just going back to tonight's game, Marcus Smart in the free throw regard, in the physicality regard to this game, Marcus Smart was just fantastic tonight.
He was phenomenal. Let's take a quick look at tonight's player spotlight leaderboard for the season overall. I remind you guys, there are some players included pre-trade deadline that had won the award that we still love to keep on this list because their effort certainly goes unnoticed. Marcus Smart with tonight's player spotlight. He earns his 7th Celtics Talk Weekly player spotlight of the season. He creeps up to that 2nd spot, just 4 awards away from Jaylen Brown. Jason Tatum still leads the way with 17. Again, Marcus Smart taking the way here tonight. 20 points, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, or not 3 rebounds rather, 5 assists, 5 steals on 6 of 10 shooting. He wins tonight's player spotlight. Seamus, what if I told you In the last 21 games, the Boston Celtics hold the best record in the league at 18-3, Seamus. Let's take a look at this. Look at, if you can see this, Seamus. Wins all over the board. Just 3 losses against 3 teams that the Celtics could beat. They lost by 1 against Detroit. They lost by 21 against Indiana. No Al Horford that game. You know, we saw the Celtics. They had a rough night, second night of a back-to-back, I believe. But nonetheless, we saw that game in Atlanta. That was actually a couple months ago. This has been a big span for the Celtics the last 21 games. 18-3 is the best record in the NBA right now in the last 18 games. These Boston Celtics are red hot, piping hot, Seamus. What has gotten into these guys? I mean, this is unfreaking believable. And 13 points tonight. I know, like, the number one answer is obviously defense, but these guys are really, really coming together at a perfect time, Seamus, just a few weeks away from playoffs.
Yeah, and you hope the health sustains itself because that's been such a big part of this all, everybody being healthy. But that run right there, you know, really, we, you know, in a sense, I don't want to say we gave up on the Celtics because we were still coming in here and saying, you know, there is a chance, but we don't expect it to happen.
Right.
However, now, you know, anyone who held on to those chances or held on to the Celtics stock back in January and December, they're seeing massive, massive returns right now because everybody is healthy and because that defense is turning up to another level. Those games right there, the last 21 games were 18-3. Those 3 games, we had a chance to win the Hawks game. That was another game at the time. That was another game at the time where you went, typical Celtics, can't pull that one out. Can't do it. Yet you look at the schedule since then. We've only lost to the Pistons and the Pacers. The Pistons we've already talked about. They play us well. That was the second night of a back-to-back. No Marcus Smart, no Robert Williams. We lose by 1. And to the Pacers, that was just an anomaly. You look at the rest of the schedule, dominant win after dominant win after dominant win. And all of these games too, you have to consider the Celtics aren't just pulling these games out of their ass.
No,
they're actually going out and executing and blowing past some of these teams.
Yeah.
And at a certain point, you got to go back and say, or you have to look at the Celtics situation and say, man, this is a legitimate squad. This team is actually beating quality teams handedly on a nightly basis. And right now we're only in March, and hopefully that continues going into April. And like I said, the health, it's been such a big part during those last 21 games. Most of the guys have been healthy, and you see when they're not, we see different results. So moving forward, you want to see everybody healthy and also them continuing to play this way, like most of us or a lot of us, you know, expected they would be able to after the trade deadline.